live. So I put up a video earlier that was discussing or talking about your pain not being a punishment. Right? So let me see. So I know I haven't been one to go live a lot here on TikTok, but hey, you got to start somewhere, right? So I've been kind of negligent when it comes to TikTok, so I want to get more engaged with my audience and more with my followers. Something that I have not done. I'll be completely honest because I tend to take the route of wanting to make sure that my mental health always comes first. So when it comes to social media, I tread very lightly. You know, I like to get on, do my thing, market whatever I'm marketing, put out whatever content I got set to put out, and then I like to dip on up out of the way. You know, I'll do some comments back and forth for a little while, but that's kind of it. I can't sit with it. I can't stay with it. It's very addictive, and the way social media is set up, I just can't do it for the sake of my own mental health. But it doesn't mean that I'm not trying to put in or I'm not going to attempt to put in a better effort to connect more with my audience and with my followers. So, with that being said, what I'm going to talk about today has to do with your pain. You know, your pain is not a punishment, it isn't a curse. It's more of a calling, it's more of an initiation. So, let me say something that might disrupt everything that you have been taught when it comes to pain. You know, your pain is not punishment. It's not a punishment. It is not karma coming back for you. It is not proof that you are broken. It is not a sign that you're not manifesting right. Your pain is sacred instruction. Your pain is your pain purposefully and for a specific reason. Because there are some things within this universe that only you are cosmically aligned or cosmically chosen for. And that is what is your mission. And your pain is just an instruction for that. It's an initiation. It's more like a soul curriculum, right? It's how the universe initiates people that are trying to wake up. So if you're trying to wake up, people dealing with a lot of pain are people being called to wake up. So it's not a coincidence that you find yourself struggling. You might be dealing with depression. You might be dealing with anxiety. And that's because your soul is calling for you to awaken to some degree. Now, everybody's awakening isn't going to be the same. It's not the same set of things that people are going to feel or going to, kind of go through and experience. Appreciate the gift. Thank you for the gift, Daniel Gary. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. But it's how the universe initiates the people that are supposed to wake up. If you've ever been through something that just feel like it just cracked you wide open, then you will understand what it is that I'm referring to and what I'm talking about. See, when we are conditioned, we live in a society that teaches us, because we're conditioned to believe that if we are hurting, then we must have done something wrong. So if we are experiencing this pain, this hurt within our inner world, then obviously it must mean that we did something wrong. So we are taught to fear pain, to avoid it, to suppress it. We are told to think positive. You got to push through it. But here's the thing, here's the paradox of it. The pain isn't blocking your path. The pain is your path. You have to understand that the pain is the path. In every ancient tradition, from Kemet to alchemy to the mystery schools, the descent always comes before the resurrection. It's a part of the process. The shadow is the gatekeeper, and the pain is the portal. See, the shadow is how we like to try and protect that wound or guard that wound. But if we were to lean into it more, if we were to be more curious about what that wound is, what it is rooted in, that's how we do the real work. That's where the real work comes in at. Because pain isn't here to punish you. It's here to strip away what isn't true. It's here to strip away the illusion. It shows you where you've been living a lie. This is why you're dealing with the pain, so you can wake up to the truth of it and make the change or the transformation that is necessary to relieve yourself of the pain. Most of us have heard of that concept, pain is weakness leaving the body. Now, this is, to me, this is how that makes sense, because this is dealing with the illusion. This is dealing with all the fakeness, all the things that need to burn away because it has been holding you hostage. The pain is showing you where the ego still has control. It is showing you where the inner child is still waiting to be seen, waiting to be heard, or waiting to be held. This is your shadow wound. Pain is a spiritual fire, and it does not burn to destroy you. It burns to reforge you. It burns to reforge you. It's your soul saying this is not who you are anymore. So you're not being punished by it. You're being initiated. You are being given an opportunity to awaken. And most times we stay in that loop until we come to that understanding. If you ever seen Groundhog's Day, that's what Groundhog's Day was all about. He kept going through the same loop until he reached this spiritual awakening, until he reached the next level of understanding. So until you do that, you are going to be on repeat. You are going to feel like you are experiencing rerun episodes, because that pain is a calling for you to dig deeper. For you to dig deeper, right? So if you're feeling heavy and nothing has really happened for you to feel that way, if you're feeling heavy for no reason, if you keep repeating the same pattern in relationships, repeating the same patterns when it comes to money, if your dreams are chaotic, if you feel the urge to be by yourself, to just isolate, it is not a curse. It is not punishment. You are being summoned. That pain is speaking in symptoms: chest tightness, throat tension, sudden breakdowns, feeling exhausted, feeling drained, emotional spirals that feel like death. That is the language of the soul. You haven't been taught how to read it. That's all. You just don't know how to pick up on those cues. Yeah, Groundhog's Day with Bill Murray, where he keeps reliving Groundhog's Day over and over again. That movie is a very spiritual movie. Now, on the surface, it's like a regular old comedy, but it's a very spiritual. It's a very spiritual movie. Has a very spiritual message. Indeed, it does. So, what the things that you feeling in your body, these are cues. These are signs. These are signals. These are symptoms of your call to awaken. But here's the thing. You can't decode the message if you keep suppressing the symptoms. So you don't know. Typically, we are not taught how to read the signs, how to understand the language. That's not a coincidence. That is by design. It is very much by design. So if you don't know how to decode the message, or if you don't understand that a message is trying to be relayed to you, because we live in a society that teaches this program, and we're just going to suppress it. So anytime somebody asks, hey, how's it going? It's going good. I'm fine. How are you? I'm fine. I'm fine. It becomes a reflex to say I'm fine. But are you really? Are you really though? What's really going on in your inner world? Because this is a cue. These are signs. These are messages. You know, are you having a hard time sleeping at night? You keep having weird dreams. You keep having dreams that's leaving you unsettled. Those are messages. That is a message. And usually if it gets to that level, Where you are constantly having dreams of constant messages, you're not getting the message. This is why they are coming so frequently and so abruptly and disrupting your sleep, not allowing you to sleep. That's why you can't sleep. But it's not a punishment. It is a summon. You are being summoned. You are being called forth to awaken to some sense of truth. Now, as I said, it's different levels of different truth. Some people are called for because they need to become aware of some things that need to be broken within their bloodlines. Some people have to break generational curses or break circumstantial decisions that are constantly being made in a repeated pattern or loop. Some of you are asking to become what your bloodline needed that it never had. Now that may not feel fair. Now that's a different conversation. It may not feel fair, but that's the truth of it. You know, that's the truth of it. So when you ignore pain, all it's going to do is recycle. When you suppress that ache, that pain, you just delaying the initiation. You only delaying the inevitable. The longer you delay it, the more your life is going to feel like it's stuck on a loop. It's not punishment. This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity. Pain is how your soul breaks the illusion. Pain is how the truth comes in. So if you've been feeling like your pain has been trying to tell you something, it's time for you to wake up and listen to it. Now, this is where your spiritual guides may come in, where your mentors may come in, where your elders may come in, where your teachers may come in, where they can come in and to help to kind of guide you, provide you with some insight so that to help you understand what is happening. But a lot of times nowadays, we don't have that either. But granted, we do have the internet. So we can connect with people far and wide. They don't have to be somebody within our immediate life that we physically interact with. We have the ability to expand hundreds of thousands of miles to people anywhere on the globe because of the internet. This is one of the benefits of the time that we are living in right now. This is one of the benefits of technology. Now, granted, you don't want technology to do everything for you. You don't want it to be the basis of how you operate, of course. But this is how you utilize that tool. This is how you use it. Now, everything that can be used can be abused or misused. So we don't want to abuse or misuse the technology. We've had ancestors who've made that mistake already. This is already happened before. So there's really nothing new under the sun anyway. So even if society does get to that point, it's simply repeating something of yesteryear, something that has already happened already anyway. So when it comes to understanding the necessity of the pain, that's why it's there. Just like the fear is necessary. You got to have fear. How else are you going to know that you are courageous? How are you going to know that you are brave if there is no fear? The fear is needed and necessary to prove to you that you are brave, to prove to you that you are courageous, to prove that you are the hero of your own story. This is the purpose of it. You cannot have day without night. You cannot have light without darkness. It goes hand in hand. So if you have been feeling this way, I have spaces open where I'm booking free clarity calls with people. So if you want somebody to talk to that professionally helps people to deal with these type of pain points or these type of issues, things going on within our inner world, self-doubt, lack of self-love, struggling with self-identity, constantly repeating toxic relationships, struggling from childhood traumas, this type of thing. I have open space on my calendar where I am booking free clarity calls. This is of no charge to you. There's no pressure. If that is something that you would like to explore, you can just go to the link in my bio and you can just book whatever time is best for you. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a DM. Feel free to reach out at any time. But this is primarily what I do as a holistic psychology practitioner, as a psycho spiritual mentor, you know. So I just kind of wanted to come on and kind of discuss, that discussion around pain. And it's kind of trying to show this little visual back here, but it, it didn't quite line up right. So this is what, or this is something that I've been focusing on in terms of helping people to deal with this. So just know that your pain is not proof that you're broken. It's just proof that you're being initiated. Most people run from pain, thinking that it means something is wrong. But what if it's just actually just a calling? What if it's just trying to give you instruction on what to do next, on where to heal? Now, that's a different perspective to take on it when you really think about it. So we have to reprogram ourselves. We have to unlearn some of the things that we have been taught so that we can heal. Because we have been taught to fear pain. We've been conditioned to believe that it means failure, whether that be it means sin, or whether it's karma, or whether that means that we're off our paths. No, because pain comes with it. Pain is a part of the process. It is weakness leaving the body. That's what it is. So we get told a lot, hey, well, just stay positive and just, kind of push through it. We're trying to bypass the pain. We're trying to figure out a different route to take to avoid the pain. When really you got to lean into it, because it's trying to show you something. It's trying to teach you something. It is mirroring back to you. Because once you get into alchemy, when you study the occult, you learn that in sacred tradition, the descent, which means the fall, right? Which means the fall, it is necessary. The shadow is simply a teacher. It's a teacher. Pain isn't the punishment. It's actually the portal. It's actually the portal to a more whole you, to a fuller version of you. So what I'm giving, my stance on these things are esoteric in nature, because pain shows you where you're still holding illusion. This is the thing behind Buddhism. Buddhism teaches you to detach. Why? Because you're attached to these ideas that's leading to your suffering. That's why you hurting. That's why you in pain, because you are attached to some ideas you gotta let go of. So I just wanted to touch on that briefly for a minute. So, just kind of throw that all out there. But as I mentioned, I'm open and available, accepting for free consultations. Just go to the link in my bio. Peace, y'all.